What's up, Docs Daily? Welcome into another episode. Today is Friday, January 30th. We are live full effect, as always, here Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Check us out tomorrow, Saturday. We're early Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, with Griffin Murphy and myself. I think Nolan Patrick might be joining us as well. I have to confirm that. We talked about that. But, yeah, he's been coming in on Saturdays, helping us out a little bit on the Saturday crew because – me and Griffin go off on a tangent. Is be ready for combat on Saturdays. I'm just saying. But Robert Faringo and Raphael Esparza is joining me today. Raphael filling in for Craig Trapp today. Always my guy. Raphael is just my guy. He's on speed dial. He's my number one. Need him in 15 minutes. He'll be there. Always on deck. I'm buttering up to him right now just to let you guys know I'm full on. Brown nosing right now. We're trying to make them feel good. Here's what'll make you feel good. Free $60 if you're brand new to Doc Sports and you've never used the $60 account. This is a great way to try us out. You can get $60. You could split that 60 between the two guys here, Robert and Raphael, or you can use it on anybody's premium handicapping picks you want at the website. Links in the description of the video. I can't talk. I'm all worked up from Michigan State, Michigan, in case you haven't wondered. And become a YouTube member. All the cool kids are doing it. It's $4.99 a month. Starts off at. Buy your own members only jacket. I supply the winners. So that's how it works. It's just that simple. Links also in the description of the video. I want to get jackets made, by the way, like members only jackets. But that's a whole separate conversation. Raphael, I will let you have the floor because you're filling in for Craig. You're helping me and Robert out. Just go ahead.
First of all, I want to say thank you for not wearing any Red Wing gear today because I think I would have jumped on a flight. You know, I hate losing games. I
had a Red Wing hoodie on too, and I changed it.
I hate losing games like that. I'd rather lose like Washington winning 5-1 or something like just a blowout, just crush, not even close. But being down 3-1, then two empty net goals that tie 3-3, going into overtime on your home ice. And lose it like that. But that's just I went back and looked at my spreadsheets and free plays. This week alone, it's Friday. It's January 30th. I have 7 games I either lost in overtime or by a half a point this week alone. San Diego State is a free play last week or a couple days ago. Had the under 143.5. It goes 144. 7 games in overtime losses and or a half a point this week alone. I'm just waiting for that email saying, hey, thanks for being in our crew. There's the door. Don't your ass on the way out.
Thanks for stopping by. Well, Robert, I hope you have a little bit better of a story than Raphael.
No, worse, even worse. Now, look, it's all relative, right? Like his was a game of the year. So to lose it that way is rough. But I had one of my worst NBA beats of my career last night. It was only a 1-unit play, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It was still unbelievable. Detroit Phoenix over 214.5. They scored 130 points in the first half. They didn't get over. They scored 31 points in the fourth quarter.
That was rough.
The two teams combined to score 3 points in the last 3 minutes and 11 seconds. 3 points in 3 minutes of an NBA game.
That was pretty brutal as well.
I mean, and this came after – the only reason I was betting on that over in that Phoenix game was because I had lost another terrible beat with the Phoenix over against Brooklyn the game before that, where it was 210.5, I believe, finished at 210 for the score. They only scored 2 points in the last minute and 20 seconds of that game, of like a 2-point game. You know what I mean? So just unbelievably bad totals beat. So it doesn't matter if small plays, big plays, like it just sucks to lose.
Yeah. That Red Wings game, I mean, it's 3-1. I was like, okay, whatever. And with 2 minutes left, 2 empty net goals, that's rare to go into overtime. And then, it is what it is. Hockey was weird last night. I mean, it wasn't weird. I shouldn't say that.
Well, San Jose.
About the Bruins. The Bruins beat the hell out of the Flyers yesterday. We talked about them on Docs Daily. The Avalanche are actively coming back down to earth, falling hard. But we're back at it today. That's what. Yeah,
I mean, we talked about that. That's why for me, I said yesterday, I was like, it's got to be Montreal or no play. Like, you got to be able to sniff out when the books are just begging you to bet on a team And that's exactly what yesterday's line with Colorado was. But again,
I didn't see Vancouver coming over the Ducks either, but I wasn't. That line looks suspect, which somebody mentioned in the comments, I think after Docs Daily, like, because people do watch this show back, who'd have thunk it? But, they commented after the fact and was like, why aren't we on the Ducks or something, like some video it was anyway. And I was like, wow, it looks too easy. It just, when lines just look too easy, I wasn't on the Ducks. I'm glad I wasn't on the Ducks last night.
I had them, but the one that kicked me in the balls more was San Jose. They were up, same thing. They're up 3-0 against Edmonton going into the third period, and they lose in overtime. Now I cashed the +1.5, but I had them +185 as an underdog, and I was this close to taking them. I told you yesterday I took Chicago, and then I took Chicago in regulation because the odds on that it was like +240. I almost took San Jose in regulation yesterday. That was like +260 or something like that. So, got the shaft with the Oilers.
Shout out to the guys that took the over 6.5 in that Oilers Sharks game because you needed all of it to get there. But you pushed on that 7. It was the first time. I shouldn't say first time. We've seen 7 a couple of times this year, but it has been. I see a 7. I'll bet the over to 7, just cause it's 7 for a reason. Panthers and the Blues went over last night, big time over. Hurricanes, Utah, Blackhawks, and the Penguins. Boy, Blackhawks, they're terrible on the power play. That's their whole problem in a nutshell. I think I saw a stat the other day. It was like 0-24 in their last 24 power plays. You can't do that.
How is that even possible?
I just like it's like you feel like you would backdoor into one or something.
Right.
Somewhere along the line. Only one NHL game on today.
Good.
Thank God. I don't. Why do that? Good. Why do that? I don't understand the NHL schedule.
It's brilliant. It was a brilliant move. I'm so
brilliant.
It's a brilliant move.
Right. Maybe they're just maybe they don't want to compete with that Michigan State game. I mean, let's transition into some college basketball. Robert, UC Irvine last night against Hawaii.
No,
we called that. How about that in overtime?
That's one of my stats. That's one of my stats right there. I had the under yesterday. It would have went under if it didn't go into overtime. No,
I needed overtime to win. Okay.
Screw the anteaters.
Listen, I went 0 for yesterday in college basketball, so that was just a real lot of fun. My Penn State call didn't exactly work out. Who knew that Northwestern was going to shoot 60% from the field? Yeah, right. So it's pretty unreal. I was talking up Nick Martinelli, and he made me look smart, though. He went off for 34 points in that game. But I'll be back on Penn State. I think they'll beat Minnesota this weekend. Like I said, I just feel like that first Big Ten win for them is coming, and this will be a perfect kind of bounce back spot after losing by 30.
FAU screwed me yesterday. I didn't expect Memphis to come out playing like.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling there. Is this live? Yes, you are alive,
yes.
Sandy. This is
alive. I'm alive.
This is really happening right now.
This is actually happening.
I gotta answer Scott's question. Why bet the NBA with all that went down? The past 6 months, there's been more betting scandals in the UFC, soccer, and tennis than there has been in the NBA.
Hey, I don't know. I saw this on Twitter, but you believe half of what you read and half of what you see, or however that saying goes, or whatever. But is LeBron tied to a betting scandal in the NBA?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay. I just can't stand LeBron.
You can't stand LeBron?
I can't stand him. I don't like anything Ohio. I don't know if you guys have realized this. Like anything come out of this Cleveland, what came out of Cleveland that was good? Now the NFL Hall of Fame that's in Cleveland is officially a joke now. I mean, it's stamped. FDA approval a joke.
Why?
You can't put Dur Sanders as an all pro. You can't put him on the Pro Bowl team.
But it's not a Pro Bowl. It's flag football.
It's one and the same.
They want people to watch it. That's why they put it. Do you think they didn't put Belichick in the first ballot? They wanted us to talk about the NFL when there's no football this week.
What we need people to watch? They would watch. No, that was a joke too. You know what they want people to watch? They want the skills competition. Why can't we get a bunch of linemen out there doing like those strongest man competitions where they got to pull a bus? You know what I mean? Or
I want to watch offensive lineman versus defensive lineman tag
flag football.
Dodgeball.
Yeah. Oh, dodgeball.
Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman dodgeball.
Nice. I used to love watching the old quarterback skills competition back in the 80s and early 90s. That was fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, thought I was on the playback. It's all good, bro. It's all
right. We're just
hit the like button. Just hit the like button.
I look like Craig. Is that what he's saying? I look like Craig. Is that what he's saying?
So, all right. So listen. So obviously the biggest game of the night. You came correct today, Lenny, with your Michigan State gear. Raphael, what are your thoughts on the game of the night tonight?
I was torn. I was going to play this total, and this total all depends on who you like. Michigan State needs an under game if they're going to win this game against Michigan. I think if Michigan wins, this game flies over. I wanted more points with the Spartans on this one. I think we showed how to beat Michigan the last couple of weeks, even though they only have one loss, but they've had some scares coming in. I think the playbook is out on how to beat them. So I think Michigan going to Michigan State to try to win that team on their home court is tough. Trying to beat Izzo in his home court is not an easy task. I just wanted more points if I was going to take the Spartans. So I just set aside and passed it. I cannot wait to watch this game. It's best game on the board. And I'm so glad that I get to sit back and watch some late games after that game because we have UNLV, Nevada,
That's going to be. I'm excited for that game.
Boise State and the Cantaloupes, as I like to call them, and Canyon tonight as well. So I'm just glad Michigan game will be over before those games start.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did a free play on this video earlier this week and gave away Michigan State. I'm just going to go with the home team in this one. I think the home court advantage means something in this series. And what I think the most likely scenario is that Michigan State wins a close game here tonight, and then Michigan absolutely bombs them in the return game in Ann Arbor. That's the last game of the regular season. Yep. By then we'll probably have a clear-cut Big Ten champion, but I think these two teams are even enough where I could see a split. I mean, the reality is that Michigan is just trending this way against spread. They've been overvalued for a few weeks. They are still a very, very good team. But they are not the dominant juggernaut that they looked like in the non-conference when they were just bombing people. And they bombed Auburn and bombed Gonzaga. That was a long time ago. Like November was a long time ago. They were a little bit further ahead than a lot of teams. But I didn't think they were particularly impressive against Nebraska. Nebraska was playing without Rienk Mast, their best player by far. And they just haven't been super impressive lately. I mean, you see a lot of 10-point wins on their record. But if you watch those games, a lot of those games were close, were competitive games. So, a small lean on Michigan State. I'm more excited to watch this game than I am to bet it. I probably won't put my money on Michigan State. Instead, I'm going to look to bet against probably both of these teams coming out of this game. Like Michigan State plays this game, and then they go to Minnesota next week where, let's say they win tonight. They'll probably be laying 8.5, 9, almost 10 points against Minnesota on the road in their next game. And just like we caught them slipping at Rutgers, I had a big play on Rutgers earlier this week. I think I'll bet against Michigan State in the letdown spot.
That was a great letdown spot, where look-ahead spot, I should say, when they played Rutgers, Michigan State. Listen, of course I'm on Michigan. All I'm on is the side. It's Michigan State money line, be done. That's it. I mean, I would have liked to bet the total, too, over because I do think this game is a tight game. It kind of plays into, overtime. I could see overtime in this game, maybe, but I didn't play the total. I hope Michigan State embarrasses them. I'll be honest to God. I hope they just dog walk them.
I wouldn't count on it.
I do think tempers will flare. I think this game is a bitter rival. There's going to be some physical gameplay, but give me Tom.
Yeah, again, like I said, with these big games, when you see big games like this on the schedule, those don't always create the highest value situations. A lot of times it's, as we talked about, you want to bet against teams that are looking ahead like we did with Rutgers against Michigan State. And you want to bet against teams that come out of this game. Like, let's say Michigan State does blow out Michigan. Let's say they win by 9 points, 10 points.
Right.
Well, Michigan's going to be pretty pissed off in their next game, and they might beat somebody by 40. And again, Michigan State, let's say they play the game of the season, game of their lives tonight, and win by 8, 9, 10 points. Again, then you bet the letdown after that. So it's not just, oh, this is a big marquee situation. I want to bet it because I'm watching it. Higher value situations usually develop before and after games like that.
I'm looking to live bet this, especially in the second half. Michigan State's 5 of their last 6 games. They've outscored their opponents by double digits in the second half. Look at the Indiana game. That was a perfect example. That's when I started live betting with Michigan State, because if for some odd reason Izzo must yell at the kids in the locker room at halftime because they come on a totally different team. So I'm actually looking to live bet this if I can get a good spot.
And in the comments, somebody asked about VCU. Yes, absolutely yes. Them minus 18.5. I don't know what's going on at Loyola Chicago, but that is one of the weirdest situations in college basketball. Okay, Drew Valentine is the coach. He's been there a couple years, so it's not like this is his first year. Like, he's had some really good teams since Porter Moser left and went to Oklahoma. He brought back a lot of experience. Like, a lot of this team were the guys that were on last year's team, and they're just getting bombed. Like, they won 25 games last year, brought back like 4 of their top 6 players, right? So this was a team that I had circled that, like, okay, I think they're going to be a little bit spry. There's something going on in that locker room. There is some kind of big problem. There's only one way to bet Loyola Chicago games, and that is just to bet against them blindly until they show that they have any interest in covering a spread. Because again, they're not losing games and losing close to the number. Like, they are getting demolished pretty much on the regular.
Yeah, they lost at home to St. Joe's. They only scored 64 points, and I just did a free play video on VCU in this game, and I bet the under. I just don't – their offense has been awful in Loyola. I have no idea what's going on in that locker room, like you said, but I want nothing to do with them. I think VCU blows them out, and I don't think the Ramblers score 65 or more points in this game.
Like, I thought they might be turning the corner. They upset Santa Clara on the road. Like, they were big underdogs. I think they were double-digit underdogs, and they won outright. That's a good Santa Clara team. Then they came back and they beat Rhode Island. Like, 2 good road upsets. I was like, okay, maybe going into conference play, things have stabilized. No, they lost by 35. They gave up 101 points at George Washington, lost by 35 in that game. Since then, it's just been an avalanche. They lost by 27, 14, 12, 21, on top of a 35-point loss. Like I said, they're not losing close games, competitive games. Like, there's something going on there. Just bet against Loyola blindly. And if they cover a spread, come back and bet double against them.
I'm going to talk about someone put Grand Canyon money line. I like that play. I would wait because money's coming in on Boise. And I asked the bosses, if you really want to see where money's coming in now, and now that these prediction markets are pretty much in every state 50 cents, if you go to their site, you can actually track the money and actually see who played that. So their traction is a lot more different than if you go to any site and say, 73% of that money. Well, you don't actually get to see it, and it tells you how much money is on a team. So you can use that as a tool on where the money's coming in and where the money's not coming in. And right now, all the money's coming in on Boise. So I think that number, if you wait, it's a late game. I think you can get a better money line on Grand Canyon, because right now I'm seeing a lot of money line bets on Boise State.
I definitely like Grand Canyon tonight.
Me too.
That was one that I clicked up. I just needed a day off after getting blanked yesterday, so I sat on it. But I mean, they beat Boise State by 17 points on the road.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen a Grand Canyon home game, like if you've
never, fun. They're fun.
They have one of the most unique home court advantages in all of college basketball. Like, it's a really tough place to play. And this being their first year in the Mountain West, these teams aren't used to it. I mean, they beat Utah State by double digits at home. They beat San Diego State at home. Like, they are really tough in their own gym. I thought Boise State I think they might have peaked in their last game against San Jose State. That was another game where they just shot out of their minds. I mean, they made 70% of their 2-point shots in that game. Like, that's unbelievable. Like, nobody makes 70% of their shots in the game. So there's only one way that can go for them. Like the under a little bit in that game as well, but I definitely like Grand Canyon.
Scott asked about St. Louis tonight against Dayton and the over possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like betting against St. Louis because there's only been a handful of teams that have stayed within double digits of them this year. Like, I think only like 4 of their wins have come by less than 10 points. Now, they have played one of the weakest schedules in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, so their 20-1 record is a little bit misleading, but they just run people up. Now, the other reason I'm a little bit hesitant is I had George Washington plus 10.5 in the last game. That easily covered. Like, George Washington could have won that game on the road. What's his face with the goggles hit 2 big threes late in that game to push that my head. No, what's it? Robbie Avila.
That's who I thought.
It's too many. It's too many points. I'm not looking to bet against St. Louis, but they are obviously getting priced out of the market with them being 10.5 point favorites over a really good George Washington team. Them being 10.5 point favorites against a competent Dayton team. It's way too rich for my blood. So no, that is very much a stay away game for me. Somebody else asked about Detroit. I definitely like Detroit. This is their role. They're definitely much better as an underdog. They're catching more points than I thought they would have. I thought that number would have been around 4.5. So yes, I think that they could hang around. I don't understand how Mark Montgomery still has a job. Like, that guy was at Northern Illinois before this. Like, just a massive loser. Seriously, like, this guy's winning percentage for his career has got to be somewhere around 35%. Plays kind of a unique system where he really focuses his offense just on one guy, right? And like, everybody is set to set screens and pass it to that one like designated scorer. But they usually are pretty good at slowing games down. Like I said, I like them as a home dog.
In that St. Louis game, circa about 15 minutes ago, moved it to 10. So keep an eye out for that. There's still more 10.5s out there, but if there's a 10 right now at 1:24 Eastern Standard Time, the copy and paste guys over in every other book might go drop it. I'd see it continue to drop.
Somebody asked about Brown and Harvard. Tonight. What's that number? What's that?
Brown.
So I think last time I saw Harvard was 1.5. Total was 133. I think it was.
I like Harvard. They haven't played like it yet, but I came into the season thinking that them and Yale were the 2 best teams in the Ivy League. I think that will play out over the next month. They're coming off that loss to Cornell. I had them in that game, so I like them. I like them to bounce back. Brown, not exactly like a massive home court advantage there for Brown. I just, for me, I'm kind of pot committed on Harvard. I do think that they're going to turn it around, so I'm okay with that.
I'm keeping an eye out for that total. I missed the 131. I think it's 132, 133.5. All of Brown's last 4 losses, they gave up 80+ points. So if you like Harvard, if they can jack up to 3 and hit those 3, I think there's we could see an 80 mark on one of these teams. I think this total flies over.
I'm on Princeton. That's my Ivy League play of the day. Princeton. Right? I'm on Princeton over Cornell. I got points. I got like 5.5. I think right around there. I think is where.
Yeah, again, not bad. Like Cornell. That was a battle with Harvard that they played. I thought same thing. I thought they played a little bit above themselves in that game. Made 50% of their 3-pointers. I think in that game they were like 12 for 24 or something like that. Like, they shot out of their minds in that game. Almost scored 90 points. So I could see them coming back to reality.
I'm also in some action tonight. Kent State, Akron, and the Zips.
I'm on the other side. I didn't want to.
Zips.
You're going Zips.
I'm on the Zips. I laid all.
Yeah, I like the Zips.
Zip. Boom, bang, pow.
I said earlier this week that they were going to cover one of these 2 lines against 2 of their rivals. They didn't cover against Toledo. Again, they won by 10, but that was a lot closer game. Like, that game was never really a blowout. In fact, they might have been down at halftime or tied at halftime, something like that. I said that they were going to ramrod one of these two teams. Like, no love lost between these guys. I know it's a big number. It's like 11.5 and 12 is now like what 8.5 used to be in these conference games. Like you just see a lot of double-digit numbers, but the disparity between a lot of these teams aren't that big. So,
Akron's won, 5 straight, and only 3 of those or 2 of those wins were by double digits. Everything else, I think, was like 8 points or less.
But again, a lot of those ones are on the road, and they definitely have that second gear where they can just like put the boot to somebody. I mean, they beat Buffalo by 19 on the road. They beat Ohio by 21 on the road. I had Ohio in that game. Didn't work out very well for me. Like I said, I'm just being stubborn. I looked at this week's card on Monday. I said they're going to cover against either Toledo or Kent State. So sticking to it.
It's a lot of points, but I'm going to hold my nose and
watch. All right, what do we think about the NBA? Because I think there's some tasty little nuggets in the NBA tonight. Anything jump out at you, Raphael?
I think the Knicks. You have to think about the NBA trade deadlines next week. So a lot of these teams are auditioning to try to be buyers. I think Knicks can be one of those teams that want to put out a butt whipping on a team. So maybe they can think about trading somebody to come to their house. The Greek Freak's been mentioned. Everyone in Sacramento Kings has been mentioned to go over to the New York Knicks because they're sellers. I thought this number was going to be closer to 9. So getting 7.5 on the Knicks, I thought that was a pretty soft number when I made this number 9. I know Portland's playing better, but when they don't hit their threes, they are awful.
I have a 7-unit play actually available in this game, so I'm not going to talk about this one very much. I will say that Portland has been unimpressive so far on their road trip. If you look at Portland's schedule, they played at home a lot over the last month. They haven't gone on the road very often. They didn't play well in Boston. They snuck in the back door, but they were down 20 in the fourth quarter of that game, and then they lose. What was it, at Washington? Their next game, and now they're in the Garden. So I have a 7-unit play on that game, but we'll see.
I'm going to talk about this game. This is 2 teams who can't wait for the playoffs to start. The Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets. I like the Utah Jazz. Brooklyn is awful. They suck. They have 1 win in the last 10 games. They beat the Bulls, and they shot 40% from three-point land when they beat the Bulls. They ain't going to do that again. That was like almost a month ago. This team's awful. Utah defense sucks too, but I like their offense more than I like Brooklyn's offense. I think the Jazz laying a soft number. Here's one. Take the money line. I don't know why Nets money line's coming in because some money lines out there it's only minus 123 or 120 less than with a -2 out there. I think the money line's a safer bet than laying a 2.
Yeah, I mean normally when bad teams get together, I say take the points. I'm seeing majority action on Brooklyn, but I agree with you, Raphael. Like there's no way I'd bet a dime on Brooklyn. And Utah, they've lost 4 straight at home. This is the end of a 5-game homestand, but they started it with a win over Minnesota. So, like, Utah can still jump up and bite somebody.
But look at those losses. The Spurs.
They did lose it.
I mean, they played Brooklyn and a D-League team. They played some really tough teams that they lost.
Yeah, agreed. That's why I'm with you. Like, I like Utah a little bit, but, bad teams, like I don't know. I'm more interested in the Cleveland Phoenix game. Phoenix, they besides screwing me on the total last night, I was really surprised at how well they played against Detroit. They blew out Detroit last night. Now they face Cleveland. They're facing some of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Are they going to do it again? Are they going to sweep Detroit and Cleveland on back-to-back nights, Raphael?
This is a stay away game for me. I don't think so. I hate to play teams coming off back-to-back, especially with the emotional win beating the Pistons, because so far the Pistons are the East Coast love this season. So I would say no, but I don't want to lay 4 on the road. Obviously, if it drops, there's still a couple books that have 3.5. If I can get maybe 3, then I'll go back and look at it. But I ain't putting my dice on that one. Boy, it was a bad day for Detroit last night. Now that the Pistons lost yesterday and the Wings, screw Detroit.
Yeah, not great. Not great stuff for your money line parlay last night.
No, it wasn't great at all. Thanks for reminding me. Scott, yes. I like the Blue Jackets. I like them in regulation tonight because that's all. And Aaron says, let's have them go. I like that. All right, guys, what do you guys got going on this weekend? What should we expect from you guys at the website before we get on out of here?
I have UFC 325 tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting. UFC 324, fight of the year could have probably been the last fight. But now reality checks in for UFC because there's no Paddy Baddy and there's no O'Malley on this card. So I want to see how the betting handle is tomorrow to see if my number could come down because I do like a dog tomorrow for UFC 325. So I got that. Soccer's back into action. And, of course, college basketball, NBA, and NHL. But there's no football, no NFL football. But we have Royal Rumble is tomorrow in the afternoon. WWE Royal Rumble is tomorrow afternoon.
Good news, Olympic curling is right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
I got a 7-unit NBA play tonight. I'll have a 7-unit NHL play. I like one of the games for tomorrow. I will have a 7-unit college basketball. Probably not as big a college basketball card for me. Not the usual Saturday vintage. I'm going to try and tighten it up a little bit. But there are a few games that I like. And there's definitely going to be some games I lost during this week that I'm going to look to buy back. I'm going to jump right back on teams that I lost with earlier this week on Saturday. So, should be morning, noon, and night action tomorrow. Should be a fun one.
Should be very interesting because college basketball numbers will move quicker tomorrow and Sunday because of no football. People want to bet something when they're normally betting football, so they're going to be putting it all on something else. So keep an eye out for a quick line movement tomorrow.
Great games. BYU, Kansas, St. Mary's,
can't wait for that game.
Gonzaga tomorrow. Indiana, UCLA, Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas with the Calipari angle. Even something like SMU, Louisville. Those are two good high up tempo teams. Miami of Ohio wins tomorrow. Well, that's all they've done to this point, right? I think they're gonna keep it going for a little bit longer. They're not gonna go undefeated, that's for sure. I have February 7th circled. Their game at Marshall. Either at Buffalo or at Marshall. I think that's one of the ones that they get tripped up on. Northern Illinois doesn't have the juice to beat them tomorrow, but that number is going to be huge. That number is going to be around 18. Are they? Yeah. Is Miami gonna cover that? They haven't been covering numbers lately, so we'll see.
I mean, he's been right 21 times that they win. Right. So hey, I'm not falling off the train, Scott. You do you, Pikachu. All right, guys, use that free $60 account. Links in the description of the video here. You can click that $60 account. Use that on both these guys' premium plays over at the website, DocSports.com/free60 is where you get that. We'll be back tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Good luck, unless you're against us. Take care, folks.